Mafia Definitive Edition. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the people that f***ed it up. An inadvertent brush with the mob thrusts cab driver Tommy Angelo into the world of organised crime. Initially uneasy about falling in with the Salieri family, the rewards become too big to ignore. Before we get into the game, guys, let's have a quick look at the graphical options. There's quite a few here. But, guys, I was still having graphical problems with this game. I was having frame drops. Quite a few of them, and I was quite surprised at that. But graphically, it does look fantastic. And, guys, honestly, I never thought, honestly, that I would ever see one of my favourite games of all time looking so beautiful as this. I've literally spent far too much time driving around this beautiful place, just looking at all my old favourite haunts from Mafia in 2002, and just seeing them all now, just beautifully rendered for modern graphics cards. And I have to say, Hangar 13 have done an outstanding job of this. The cars look great, the world looks great, and it's just beautiful to drive around. And the car handling is better as well. I love the way the new cars handle. They drive better than they did in 2002, have to say that. And I love motorbikes. There's motorbikes added, and I had so much fun on the motorbike. I tell you what, the control of that thing was just great. I picked it up in no time at all. Really enjoyed it. And while we're on a roll with this, guys, the gunplay is better than it was. Mind saying that, it couldn't get worse, because the gunplay in Mafia original was pretty awful. But in this, it's better, but could have been even better, I think. It's still a little bit kind of iffy, but it is better. The recoil isn't as crazy as it was back in the original one. And I found that all the weapons handled a lot better in this than they did in the first one. I did have a problem with mouse acceleration. It seemed to be on all the time, which was weird. So I'd had to do a bit of tweaking with my own mouse, which I shouldn't have to do, but yeah, especially in the menus, it was just all over the bloody place. Now, apart from the graphics and the gunplay, that's about it as far as things that are better. Everything else is remarkably worse in this version of Mafia compared to the 2002 version. Now, as much as this is a review, this will be the third time I've reviewed Mafia, and I'm not really wanting to do that. You know what the story is. It's the story. It's kind of like a Goodfellas story. You're a cab driver, Tommy, and you get picked up by the mob after getting into a bit of trouble, and you save one of them, then they save your ass, and you end up in the mob. And that's the story, you going through the mob. You're actually grassing on them like in Goodfellas, and you're kind of telling your story to the police about what happened with your time with the Salieri gang. And that's the whole thing, spread over 20 missions, about 15 hours. Now, I haven't finished the game this time. This would have been my third full playthrough of this game. I got to the fourth of last mission, and I've ran out of time. Star Wars Squadrons is dropping very, very soon. I've just pre-installed it, and I'm going to be starting on that tonight. So I've had to end this, fortunately, to be honest. So I just want to tell you what I didn't like about this, and why I don't think that this is a very good remaster of the original. You see, the original game, it was all about immersion. That was the thing that really propelled Mafia to the top of the charts back in 2002. We'd never seen the like of it. It was just not GTA. Mafia is a big open world with rules. GTA doesn't have any. This does. Lots of them. The police, for example, will not tolerate you speeding. They won't tolerate you crashing. They won't tolerate you having a weapon out. They won't tolerate you running a red light. And if they see you doing any of them things, they'll be onto you. And if they see you with a weapon, they'll pull theirs out, and you're probably going to end up getting shot. Generally speaking, in normal mode, the police don't give a f***. Now, you can switch it to classic mode, which is what I've been playing all the way through, classic mode. And I have to say, yes, it does fix a lot of the problems, but it is still broken as far as immersion's concerned. For example, why the hell would you pollute such a beautiful game as this with that f***ed up, stupid diamond on your screen telling you where to go? I'm quite capable, you know? I am quite capable of... I'm an adult with two eyes and a fucking brain. I can't switch it off. Doesn't matter what I do, I can't switch that off. And another thing, in the mini-map, it tells you exactly where you have to go. You don't even need the big map. Now in Mafia it was so much more immersive. You just press tab, you got a big overlay map. You could have a look at where you needed to go, but you still had to work out your route. This does all that for you. Oh, it tells you have to turn left here, oh, turn right there, oh, turn second left here. I don't want that. That's not what made Mafia good. What made Mafia good was working your own route out on the way to a hit. It's like, all right, we're going to do a hit. He's at the Blue Moon Bar. Where's the Blue Moon Bar? Oh, well, it's on this road. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, there it is there. So if I go second left, first right, second left, I'll be there. And you're driving around and you kind of, you are like the mob. You're going around, oh, that must be it there. That must be it. You don't have to do it. You just switch off your brain in this and just follow the red line that fills in on your mini-map. And hey, if you're in second doubts about where you're going, just look for the big golden diamond on your screen. Another thing, when you get there and you get into a gunfight, as much as I said that the actual gunplay is better, because it is, everything else about the gunfights is fucking horrible. The cover shooting bullshit. Hey, let's press the cover shooter key and stick to the nearest fucking barricade. Oh no, they've thrown a Molotov at you. Quickly move out the way. I can't, I'm fucking stuck. You get stuck after you're spamming the fucking key to get off it, and it just doesn't get off it because it's clunky. I'm quite capable, you know, of going behind a barricade and pressing the fucking crouch button and kneeling behind it. And then at least if a fucking Molotov comes my way, I'm not stuck to the fucking bench. Speaking of throwing Molotovs, hey, how about this? This guy can throw them fucking blindfold. He doesn't even need to look at where the enemy is. He can just throw it over his shoulder with the tiniest of little flicks of his wrist, and he can throw it 30 fucking yards with pinpoint accuracy. Fuck off. Just hey, fuck off, please. And whatever you do, whatever the fuck you do, never get into a fucking heated car chase with the cops. You know how when you're in playing Mafia, you would always just about a bit. You can't. You've got a big open. What are you going to fuck about? Yeah, you can't resist just jumping out your car, picking your Tommy gun out, and just mowing down some poor woman in her car, blowing the shit out of everything. The cops come, you jump in your car, you piss off, and guess what happens? Guess what happens? You accidentally crash it, and the cops are all over you. So what do? There's a tram. Straight on the tram, jump on the tram, get your machine gun out, shoot out the tram windows. Great fun. Who hasn't done that in Mafia? Well, no fuckers doing that in Mafia Definitive Edition, because you can't get on the fucking trams. Can't get on the fucking trains either. Trams and trains running all around this beautiful city. Yeah, you can't get on them. One of the best parts of Mafia, well, not the best parts, but one of the great things in Mafia was just driving around the city in the trains and the trams, just shooting out the windows, or just being a regular Joe and just sitting there and getting immersed in the beautiful world while everybody else is off doing their daily work runs or whatever. Can't in this. You just can't in this. Another thing I didn't like was the voices in this, and the music's already dumbed down, as I showed you in my last video. The music's nowhere near as good. Neither is the in-game radio music. It's just not as good as the original. It doesn't have that atmosphere of the original music. It's a different score altogether. It's shit compared to the original. And the voices are crap. I mean, some of the voices in the first one were awful, I'll give you that, but the main cast were great, especially Mr. Salieri. You know, Silvino, his voice was fantastic, but Tommy, he sounded like just a cab driver. In this, he sounds like a fucking mafia guy, and he's not. Tommy is not a mobster.
And it doesn't matter if you have a badge or a gavel or a fat wad of cash in your pocket. If you cross Salieri and his boys, you're dead.
Okay, boss. We'll get it done.
You know, Tommy is a taxi driver with problems who gets caught up with the mob. He gets carried away with the mob, but eventually turns on the mob. That's the thing. He always remained as Tommy. But in this, the developers didn't seem to realise that. No, he's a fucking mobster. No, he's not. But he sounds like it. And Paulie sounds like a squeaky little spoiled prick.
Johnny, get down! Oh, come on. Get us out of here! Shit, we gotta get to a car, Tom!
He's just awful. And he looks stupid as well. And, just, no. And what they've done with some of the missions, they've changed a lot of the objectives in the missions. I was finding myself doing a mission and thinking, hang on a minute, I didn't do this in Mafia. And it's some bullshit, trumped up wank that you're doing. I mean, firing out of the back of the truck. You know, you get infinite bullets. Infinite bullets, guys. When you're firing your machine gun out the back, then you have this stupid boss fight with a police truck, which is just awful. And then even when you're driving forwards, the firing's shit compared to how it was in the original Mafia. The car combat, it feels more like Karma fucking Geddon. You got Ram as well. Ram. Oh, God. Ram. All they've done is, what they've done here, guys, is they've taken a great game, Mafia, dolled it all up, and they've turned it into a typical 2020 game. And Mafia deserved better than that. It just hasn't been put together with care, in my opinion. I mean, you'll have a chase scene where you burnt off the bad guy, that you've lost the tail, you look behind you, there's no one there, then you'll go through a cutscene, and the game just puts the car right back behind you, even though there was nothing there. It just says, oh, we don't care about immersion, there's a car right on your ass, and then runs you off the road and then just vanishes completely. It's just, you can tell that the developers, when they put this together, they don't really give a shit about immersion. I mean, if they did, you wouldn't have stuff like that in the game. It's as simple as that. And the sad thing for me is, guys, I know now I'm never ever going to get a worthy remake of Mafia with Freeride Extreme. I mean, let's talk about Freeride and Freeride Extreme. That's the sandbox world. I mean, Freeride was shite, but Freeride Extreme was fantastic. I spent most of my hours in that, just playing around in that sandbox world, having shootouts in my own house with the police was just something else. Lead the police to your house, run into your house and start firing at them. In this, you get a different house. You start in Salieri's place, but if you go outside of that and alert the police, the gates just shut and lock you out. I wanted to bring the police in and have a big shootout. Oh, you can't do that. That would be fun, Mac. We don't want you doing that. And half the cars are missing from Freeride Extreme. Now, I don't know this for a fact, as in I've done it all, but I've read up about what Freeride Extreme doesn't exist. They've merged Freeride and Freeride Extreme. And what they've done is they've just kind of stripped it down of all the goodness that was in it, given you a few quests and a few cars and says, oh, that'll fucking do. £35, please. So there you go, guys. It's not the immersive game that I thought it was going to be. And I know for a fact, well, not a fact, but I just know that probably half, if not more, probably 3/4 of the gamers that have played this will have switched off the driving, so they can just teleport from one mission to another. And they will never know what it feels like to be Tommy Angelo, because they've never really wanted to be Tommy Angelo, because they don't have the attention span to be Tommy Angelo. These gamers today, all they want to do is have a quick fucking fix, shoot things, take that, grenade, I don't care for throwing it on my shoulder, drive, I'm doing a fast travel, next mission, now hurry up, I'm on the next mission, I can't wait much longer, hurry up, my brain's gonna explode if I have to wait another 2 seconds. And that's who this game was made for, guys. And I know I'm going to take heat from the cops, but I don't care, because I'll get rep.